back in 1965 is when I first started here. I was the youngest kid in camp.
All right, folks, welcome back to Camp Shahola. Campers, disembark right here. Hi, how are you?
Oh my Lord, how are you? This is fabulous. Let me give you a little.
All right.
Let me give you. I'm so glad you came.
Doesn't look like it's changed a bit. Everything's still Camp Shahola green. The lake looks great. Looking forward to having a lot of fun this weekend.
Come up, you've got the ball. How you doing? Up, Charlie. How you doing? I knew you were. Good job. How you been, all right? All right, good. Look at the camera.
Oh! Look at Sebastian behind your back.
This is Camp Shahola Council Basketball at its best. The best of the best from the last 20 years together on the same court. The old and the new.
Way off. Do these guys still have?
Oh, they really do. Look at that, Keith. Nice move, Keith. Look at that. Look at this. Nice break.
Oh, man.
They're falling apart. A few of them are throwing up in mid-court right now.
Evidently, I'm famous for some things that I prefer not to mention. This is where we spent the greatest years of our life. That's right. These years here. Yeah. Just look at all those guys out there. When they grew up from cabin 1 right on up, cabin 14, and then you grew up, and then you became a counselor, Ronnie Wolfshire.
My son's here now, and he was saying how he does this and that. And I told him, I've never gotten a chance to do wood shop when I was here. Always so many other activities to do. You just never got around to doing them all.
The next generation on film.
That's right. He'll be here in a few years.
That's a silver shop girl over there.
More silver rings in the Atlantic Ocean than any place else probably in the world, because the kids would go home and they would go swimming down in Ocean City, and that's where the rings ended up.
It's been amazing how
my parents' house for breakfast.
how the flood of memories just comes whooshing by as soon as you put a name with a face. My first summer here was when I was 6 months old, and my last summer here was when I was 18, and it showed an interesting side of the male half of the species.
I gotta get you from my brother down in Baton Rouge. That's all right. That's all right. You're gonna get me now. Get me getting them. I'll get another one of the stats here. There you go. The statters with the little statter in it.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Morrow.
Really?
I heard you did it here. Does the water taste the same? It has that special grilly mix of minerals that makes it memorable. We just got here about a half hour ago, so good.
Good, you missed breakfast.
I'm sorry about that. We had cornflakes in honor of you at our place.
That's good.
Probably the same box.
It may be.
Isn't it an embarrassment to have to follow the Sternberg legacy? How have you been able to live it down? How do you enjoy it?
I would be absolutely speechless. Don't even admit you're a Stern.
He's covered his name tag.
It's a curse we've all had to bear. All had to hold on to it. Now, when did you start growing grass up here?
Isn't that phenomenal?
10 years ago, it was nothing but dirt.
No. We've been working on this for 5 years, and we finally got a crop. The sad part is, Freddie, that within 10 days, it'll all be gone again. It doesn't matter what you do.
I do not want to continue with horseback riding. Please tell Mr. Barger. This is a letter, I think, in 1956. Maybe it's 54, with a 3-cent stamp on it to my mother. Look at this, will you? Hey, not a bullseye, but darn close.
I got it, but that's full.
Hey, look at this. All right. All right. The people back home won't believe this one. Haven't done this in 30 years, not bad. Boy, when they teach you something around here, you just can't forget it. And this is
Mom, never lost it.
Well, I will say that they shoot really good. They have had a very good instructor when they went to Camp Shahola. That is where you get the best instructors.
No, I won't play that anymore. No way. No way. I'm too old for that.
You were here for how many years?
20.
Tell me about those 20 years.
They were 20 of the best years of my life, really.
Hi, Charlie. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, too.
In 6 years, have you seen a lot of campers faking injuries and illness?
Lots of campers, especially when Lake Greeley gets cold. There is lots of faking. Lots of faking.
Pam was a lot shorter back then. I don't know. Or maybe I was taller. One of the two. I'm not sure which it was. And they had that little fuzzy little dog, too, the one year.
Oh, God. It was Pepsi?
It was something like that.
Was it a Yorkshire Terrier?
Yeah.
Pepsi, yeah. Pepsi got run over by the horse van.
Oh.
And that was one of my early childhood traumas.
Do you have fond memories of the food?
Everything except the chip beef. Yeah, the chip beef was rotten. But the bug juice is still just as good, and it's just as plentiful as always. Shohola food is the best.
I was in the dish room, and the best part of it was seeing all the leftover food come back. Fond memories of that. Yeah, it was great.
There was no crab dip and no marinated mushrooms, but it was good.
I mean, you were hungry then, you ate it.
I remember the breakfasts. Yellow Death. What we used to call it, grease bombs was the French toast. But we still ate.
Billy Jones. He's amazing. Peter Zavitz.
Frank Barger always used to say I came with a camp, which was so. His first year when he bought the camp was my 6th year as a camper. I started out as a 10-year-old, and I finally ended my career at Shohola in 1960 at age 32.
What was this place like when you first came here?
It hasn't really changed much. There are more cabins and so forth, but the trees are all bigger, but the hillside still looks about the same, and there's still lots of rocks to stub your toes on.
I was camp nurse here in 1954, and Carl was in the Navy at the time, and instead of going to Philadelphia to spend his, leave time, you came up to camp to work on the waterfront, and that's how we met.
Here's Mr. Baker looking in the window. He was OD one night, and I flashed him when he looked in to see what the noise was.
Harley Baker, look at that. And this is, who is this?
John Karpiak.
That's Paul Karpiak.
Yeah, Paul, rather, yeah.
Paul Karpiak. Harley and Daryl, look at the great jacket. Oh, my God. We're doing, look at this.
75 through
Mark,
88.
this tree, right? This is the postcard. This is the record, look.
That's that tree?
Yeah.
How's it changed?
Not much. The chipmunks' grandsons are here, and the gnats are all the same. Every blade of grass is pretty much the same. I think even the plumbing works just the way it did. It's amazing. But as was said by Bob before, Pop Barger got more work out of me than my entire family and any boss since.
Kit still has that same ability, and yes, it is still going on. And the people that came back today are the really good, solid people that care about other people and care about children and really cared about their experiences that they had here.
Where else was a kid going to learn, to ride horseback or do archery or shoot a rifle or go camping and all that kind of thing? But you also, you learn to take care of yourself.
Tell me about Pop Barger.
Oh, he was something. He was, we feared him, but we respected him and loved him too. And then when the big flood of 55, the kids were really a bit afraid, and all that rain and the flood and the bridge was washed out. And he gave a pep talk like I've never heard anywhere since.
I'm the greatest father of all time. Thank you, Muhammad.
Pretty cute kid, very talented.
Has some buck teeth there.
He didn't have buck teeth.
No.
She had to show him with this guy. That was me.
And you're not embarrassed?
You walk outside the house every day. People in glass houses, you know what I'm saying, boss?
Psycho Killer by David Byrne, his solo in the beginning of that concert. Now, we're going back all the way back to 1967 with the Beatles and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
My very first memory as a camper here at Shohola, I was assigned to Cabin 9. I walked in, and this was my counselor's bed, Larkin Hosmer. And that entire summer, the summer of 1967, all I heard from the day I stepped into this cabin till it ended in I guess I left in the end of July, was the sound of Sgt. Pepper's. The album had just come out, and Larkin Hosmer did not stop playing that album the entire summer.
How was the ride?
Yeah, that was good. It was great. A lot of fun. Uneventful.
I'll show it to you. Horseman 75, Bobby Fink, #1. I own this place.
Now, wait. What's this one? Horseman 74. You got Kenny, Mark, Phil, Bobby. See, I remember all those guys.
Right. At least Kit didn't scrape off the walls here. You know? Save this wall, Kit,
Yes,
please.
don't ever paint the wall.
I'll buy it off you, okay? You're going to tear it.
We would have to take baths on Sunday. And the object, because it was so cold, the object was to go in and out on the same motion. Because you were so cold, you were freezing to death. It was 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
We sent Denny Pyburn out on a canoe trip from the Youghiogheny. And he came back, and I said, Denny, am I mistaken, or is there a canoe missing? He says, no, there's a canoe missing. What do you mean there's a canoe missing? He says, well, I know where it is. I said, where is it? On this bent on this rock in the Youghiogheny River. I said, Denny, we need that canoe. He says, well, you're welcome to getting it, but I don't think anybody's going to be using it.
Gee, it's a good thing Kit never found out about that, huh? Isn't it?
Let's roll. You can't touch this thing.
I'm coming from Italy. I just arrived a couple of days ago, just for the reunion. I was here in 1986 as a counselor. It was great time here.
You traveled here from where?
Perth, Western Australia.
Just for this reunion?
I sure did, yep.
For this one day?
For this one day.
Following your footsteps, I learned how to occasionally come in a little after curfew.
I never did that.
Well, I used to cut the engine on my car and cruise into the ball field and park. And your old man sort of could tell the days I was coming late was when my car was parked over there.
You remember just about everybody's name?
Just about. There were very few names I couldn't pull out, which amazed me. Amazed me after all these years.
Everybody, I think, is just as amazed seeing your children all grown.
Time does fly. And they are grown, that's for sure. And it was really great having them all here. It's the first time in probably 4 or 5 years they've all been here at the same time.
Everybody just lights up seeing their old friends, their old counselors, and the counselors are seeing campers that were here when they were 10, and now they're attorneys and physicians, and everybody just, there's so much.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you gotta get a picture because you were head of land sports.
Then was Rob.
Hey, Steve.
Steve is head of land sports now.
Currently.
Oh, are you the head?
Yeah.
Well, why aren't you out here umpire?
He was head of
helping me
land
out.
sports, and I was head of land sports before him.
Yeah?
The only person missing is Robbie Levin. We need a
Yeah, Robbie Levin. He
Present
isn't.
picture.
He isn't. All right, let's play ball.
Come on, Simon.
Okay, let's get a batter up there. How are you going to play without a batter? Come on.
Let's go.
That's nice pitch. Couldn't help it, Bruce.
You're dealing with a bunch of 40-year-olds and
I
30-year-olds.
know.
30 and 40, come on, man.
All right. I told him to slow the ball down.
2 out.
3 out. See, when they throw it slow, they pop it up. That's a line shot. He trapped it now. He trapped it. You see. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You're out of there.
Oh! I could feel the wind. That was a good swing.
Anybody hits it that far ought to make it all the way home. kid. You haven't forgotten what you're supposed to do, buddy. Stand straight up in that box, will you? All right, Simon.
Got him, Ted.
Oh, he hurt himself. Time out. Time out. Bruce, you need another. Bruce, you need a first baseman. Wait a minute. We got a doctor, dear.
Yeah, we just put some ice on it and get an elevator.
Yeah.
Half a fit. I think I'm up for the season. The 10 best reasons why Dan Freeman injured his ankle. He's playing with a 16-year-old mind and a 39-year-old body there.
I told Bruce, we'll play till they get ahead, and then I'll call the game. The other guy says he's going to play for 10 years for us to get ahead. Hit it off. He's safe. Ray, they finally got a run. No,
What has been the success of Shahola? Why has it been so successful?
I guess not trying to be something that we weren't, probably. Growing over the years, both in terms of what we offered, and yet staying the same.
Now I've had some friends, oh, many a time. You know the road got hard, there were always friends to find. You never asked for nothing, you were gentle.
There have always been a core of people, all the way back from Carl Manweller to up now to Jim Whitehurst and Larry Aronson, who've been here forever, it seems like, and have passed the tradition on. It's not just the Barger family, but it's the people who've been here, have maintained the things that were really strong and good about it, I think.
It was the golden times, you know, and I used to tell the kids that. I'd say, these are the golden times, and don't you ever forget it. You look back on this as the happiest moments of your life, and they did.
I'm Larry Aronson. For those who don't know, I am the present head counselor of Camp Shahola. So now what we want to do here is to, in commemoration to the 50 years of Barger tradition, see if we can in Camp Shahola. It might still work.
You didn't say the word.
What's the word?
The word you're going to say.
What is, I know what it is. Thanks. Here's the word. I gotta talk to the spirits in here for a minute.
These people are going to go home thinking that Jewish American Indian prayers don't work.
Okay.
Is that amazing?
I'm sorry my father's not here to see what he created. I know he would have enjoyed this day a lot. I'm also sorry that my mother is not well enough to have been here because the trip was impossible for her. But I did call her last night shortly when everybody left to go to the casino. I called her to tell her what a great time people were having and what a boon this was for the local economy, and she was very happy about that. But in all seriousness, on behalf of the Barger family, my mother, who extends her greetings, my sister, who I hope most of you got a chance to see as you arrived today out at the main road, myself, my nephews, my children, and my wife, we are really glad that all of you are here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this tonight and tomorrow morning, but you got to leave at noon tomorrow.
There is absolutely no incongruity in this my ode about Shahola's 50 years of continuity. My own time with Shahola had just begun when I was 9 during the summer of 1951. The Bargers had vision, sensitivity, common sense, and imagination. How fitting it is that we express our sincerest thanks at this celebration. So let us send forth the heartiest of cheers and wish for Camp Shahola at least another just as super 50 years.
Frank Barger established a camp where the idea was that you went out and you did it, and you tried. And if you didn't do too well, he would come over to you and say, son, you remember that? Let me give you a hand. Come on, go over and try this. And you moved on to something else. You didn't fear to try. You tried to test yourself against all the activities and all the challenges that you had, and you found out who you were and how you measured up. You were able, really, and you felt confident in trying. And you could experience failure, but you never felt defeat.
I was at a business lunch once with 1 million people sitting around, very serious talk, and this guy says to me, "Where are you from?" And he says, "Where did you go to camp?" And I said, "You never heard of it?" And he said, "Where is it?" I said, "Greeley, Pennsylvania." This is the director of sports marketing for NBC, and he leans across the table and he goes, "Tell me why."
Another great, big, beautiful day in Camp Jehovah. What's great about that is in the morning at 7:30 when I'd get up and yell that around the cabin, the counselors would bounce out of their
God made Satan and Satan made sin, and God made a hot rock to put Satan in. Satan didn't like it and he said he would stay, and he's acted like the devil ever since that day. Oh, young folks, old folks, everybody come to Shahola, have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and razors at the door, and you'll hear some Bible stories that you never heard before.
Go ahead, David.
The stars do shine. Tell me why the ivy twines. Tell me why the sky's so blue. Tell me, Shahola, just why I love you.